Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I'm a relationship hacker.
Run up and get touched up, suicide. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail. Run up and get touched up, suicide, that's it. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail.
This is for the neighborhood lovers and fire hydrants in the summer. They're chilling with distant cousins and grilling soon as the sun up. This is for the tokens and the trans pass users with traveling minds, traveling lines, orange and blue ones. This is for the white tees, V-necks and Aki stands. This is for the local bodegas selling them poppy brands. For the cameras on corners, neighborhood watching, and the cops plotting on niggas that exhausted their options. For hot blocks and cold hearts, for co-defendants in the Fifth Amendment and niggas that don't talk. For worship services and the purpose of giving blessings. For every denomination teaching the same message. Word. Word.
Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show. It's Monday, the 17th of August, apex time of the year. We in the building right now, man. This shit's about to get crazy. Y'all know what I gotta do before I even get to the topic. It's just so much stuff here. Let me just get right to it in terms of promoting. I'm expecting a phone call from someone from Seattle, 206 area code. Gotta promote this guy. It's an incredible concept he has, and I want to get people participating. Right now, I need you guys to go to IamZoeWilliams.com and order your copy of The Relationship Dismount. Listen, ever since I got those books, I've been pushing, right? And packaging and selling. We got a picture of the book. Everybody's going to get their book, right? All the people who pre-ordered, I think we've sent out over 250 copies so far, right? So we're getting them out. They're getting put out. So order your copy right now. Get at us at IamZoeWilliams.com and order a copy of The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing. I have paperback versions. Also, I'm urging people to go to Amazon.com. Get your Kindle version. I want to keep this book in the top 100 on Amazon. I want to keep pushing it. I want to keep getting your reviews. Write them out. Tell us what you feel about the book. That's what I want to do. And while you're at Amazon.com, I don't know what the hell is going on in the studio right now, but we're going to fix it. Please continue to support Dr. Mark Goulston's incredible book, Just Listen, as well as Get Out of Your Own Way. Personally, Get Out of Your Own Way is one of my favorites. This shit right here is retarded, right? Just Listen is a great book as well. Continue to support him. Weed Juice. You already know. Weed Juice. Hey, listen. He just gave me a code here. My man Hassan just gave me a code, said you guys get 30% off until Labor Day. Also, what listeners? But he says 30% off until Labor Day. Apply code. Come on, Doc. We live, we love, we juice. Okay? We live, we love, we juice. Right? That's the code. 30% off. Please support We Juice. What else we got? Power in One Clothing. Listen, Dr. Umar Johnson was here in LA in the hundreds. You already know what's going on in the hundreds. People getting killed in the hundreds. My brother came down here and did a lecture, and I showed up to support the brother. And there was a group of brothers who I've been supporting this whole time, but I'd never met. They were there. Power in One Clothing. Their website is PIOclothing.com. I'm wearing one of their shirts and one of their hats right now. Little Power jersey. That's hot. Looking like a Yankee. You feel me? But not representing the Yankees. Sorry. Pinstripe. Forgive me. Okay, please continue to support those brothers. Go to their website. Also, Easy Boy Web. Now, Easy Boy Web did my website. And I enjoy the website. It works perfectly. The brother sent me also some what did he send? Some incentives is the word I'm looking for. I have them right here. You know, he does logo and business card design. He does web design. He could do all of these different things for you. He does e-commerce or multi-page websites up to 10 pages. He has a whole pricing package for all of this. Business cards, all of this stuff. If you guys need this kind of stuff and you're in business and you're living that entrepreneurial life and you need a digital presence on social media, why not spend some money with a very talented, skilled brother from Atlanta? I think he lives in Atlanta.
That's right.
Did our website. Brother's incredible. Easy Boy Web. Put the website back up there one more time.
Cash him out.
Right? I need you guys to go cash mob this guy. Right? I need you to cash mob Power and One. I need you to cash mob Easy Boy Web. I need you to cash mob Wee Juice. I need you to cash mob Dr. G. I need you to cash mob me. God damn it. Go get the book, man. What is this? Oh, yeah. Can I get to them before you put it up? This guy right here. This one right here. He from Philly. That's what it is. You think you from the East. You think you bad, huh?
Filet. Filet, baby. Tell it.
So let me put it back up there. Right? This is a black-owned company who manufactures toilet paper.
About time.
If black
About
people
damn
go by
time.
Charmin after this, you all need your ass kicked.
About time.
If I see those little shitty bears in your house, right, after I've revealed a black-owned company,
It's about
if you don't
time.
recycle your money with these people right now, toilet paper, essentials, come on.
About damn time. Yeah, we need that.
What's the name of the company? FreedomPaperCompany.com. Look at that. They got chemicals, light chemicals, sanitary, paper products, trash liners. If I see a hefty bag in a black man's house, it's fighting time. It's fighting words. I'm just saying. Okay, but what else we got? Before I get here, Doc. Did the guys from Pros call in yet? Doc, can you give us a primer on Pros? Because your guy
Sure.
hasn't called in yet. Tell us what it is.
Pros is a website which you could go to thepros.com, and they have an iPhone app, and they're in the middle of right now developing an Android app as well. It's a social reading and writing app. So there aren't really many places on the web where people can go and really creatively express themselves in a kind of literary way. And this
Really?
is actually, where people can really go, if you want to go write some poetry and have a community of other poets, or if you want to go and write, yeah, it's an app that's specifically designed for that, and it has a social media component for that as well.
Don't let fucking Tony distract
I'm a
you.
poet. I've got
What?
5 poetry
Really?
books.
Okay,
I mean,
but
so I
the
need to put it
website is
somewhere.
like
Yeah.
it's like the literary version of YouTube.
Word.
It's
That's
sick.
what's up.
It's pretty bananas.
Yeah,
there it is
that's
right
hot.
there.
Nice.
That's hot. I'll be on
Yeah.
it today. I'll be on that sucker today.
Wow.
All right, what else we got? We got Tony B. Conscious in the building. Tony B., what are you selling now?
I'm selling consciousness.
Well, what do
I'm
you?
selling the reflection of you, divinity style.
Well, let's see. You got on a nigga shirt.
Oh yeah, now we got other colors because it's summer.
Explain the shirt real
everybody-
quick.
The etymological root of the word
I have a desire to be all that my
broken
ancestors
down
used to
in
be.
layman's terms,
I want to be a mathematician.
I'm
so
listening.
you can read it, and then, we know Tupac.
So it's basically giving the real meaning of the word.
Right. We know Tupac tried his best for where he was consciously, but
Don't say nothing bad about Tupac or I'm gonna kick
Nat-
you off the show.
naturally invoking God's greatest attributes.
Excellent. Excellent. Listen, Arise Hospitality. I want you guys to support Arise Hospitality. Right? It's the black-owned Staples, Office Depot. This is about recycling black dollars. black businesses, black consumers recycling their money with black businesses. That's all it is. Arise Hospitality, you got to support them. It's on for a second. Put it back up. Jesus.
I didn't even tell them the website.
Need you
That's
guys to
all right,
get
I'll
over
tell
there. We already know your website. It's consciousint.com.
them. Right. I'll
Okay.
be at the magic show this week.
Okay, we've had enough of you. You and your promotions. We're done. We're done. Also, go to blackmastery.com. I want you guys to continue to support Black Mastery. This sister, she'll be on the show. Veronica Conway. Is she here? Let's get her on the line.
VC, are you with me?
Cut his mic off.
Hello, my beautiful men.
What up,
How are you all
BC?
today? Hey, what's up?
What's happening?
You know,
You
so,
gonna- yeah.
Black Mastery, yes, we're getting some amazing feedback from people who've gotten the program recently and are really seeing their lives totally change from this little audio program that I dreamed up. So also stay tuned because we're going to have the Black Mastery World Summit coming up. This will be the largest gathering of black thought leaders, activists, celebrities, entrepreneurs in the history of blackitude and negrosity. It's going to be the largest online gathering of thought leadership.
I love it. I love it. Hey, continue to support her. Continue. Listen, we got to go, but when we come back, today's topic. When I tell you today's topic is hot monkey grease, are y'all ready? Oh, wait a minute. Before we go, you ain't gonna never get offended. Y'all still got to support Booty Boxing. Tell them about it.
Just go to bootyboxing or udemy.com. That's udemy.com/bootyboxing, and that's the home system, 8-week home system. So you can't have any excuses why you're not healthy. So that's free for ZoWhat listeners. The promo code is ZoWhat Show.
Hey, listen, people get to have excuses.
No.
Don't
no
you? Hey,
excuses.
don't you
None.
take their
Zero.
coping mechanisms
Zero.
away. You hear me?
Me and you, Friday.
But really quickly, because we got a little bit more time, explain to them what the Booty Boxing program does.
So the booty boxing program, it's a full body program. So it's called booty boxing, but it's like that because we focus more on the leg workout, which actually burns more calories. So, but it's all full body. It's upper body, lower body, and that's just the first part of the workout. And then you can do the boxing by itself, or you can combine the system to do both things. So it's a full system. Also
And
with
it's free.
nutrition, and it's free.
Wow.
Free for ZoWhat listeners. So it's got nutrition. It has nutrition. Different workouts for you to do written out as a book. So you can go in there. It's basically pretty much got everything for you to do to be healthy. So that's why I say no excuses. I've given you everything for free.
For free.
You
Wow.
can tone the brother up.
Zo.
Hey, watch your tone in your delivery.
Zo.
Listen, we're about to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to get into today's topic, man. It's a doozy. Y'all got to participate. We'll be back in 2.2. Hey, let me hear that. Turn that up as we go out.
If you're set for the attack to come from there, and it comes from here, you have to pull back from there and go there, but that's too late. So you sit in the middle, and you don't expect the attack from any particular direction. So in the same way, all this applies to yoga. You can be watchful, you can be concentrated, you can be alert. But all that will ever teach you is what not to do, how not to use the mind. Because it'll get you into deeper and deeper and deeper binds. You have to let it happen. Just like you have to let yourself go to sleep. You can't try to go to sleep. You have to let yourself digest your food. You can't try to digest it. And so in the same way, you have to let yourself wake up. Become liberated. And when you find out, you see, that there isn't any way of forcing it, that for most people is the only way of getting them to stop forcing it. Because they won't believe when you tell them in the first instance, you've got to do this without forcing it.
Did you know that if you are mindfully focused on one task at a time, your productivity goes up by 40%? That's 40%! Slow down and get organized. Do you ever find yourself flying by the seat of your pants, constantly putting out fires? People living under a large amount of stress and anxiety are in survival mode. What does this mean? When our body is in survival mode, we are constantly releasing stress hormones. Stress hormones such as adrenaline, endorphins, as well as cortisol levels. If we're under a large amount of stress over a long period of time, we can notice other symptoms such as difficulty concentrating, rapid heartbeat, shortness of breath, even irritability, moodiness, and fatigue, as well as our immune system going down. You can shift out of this negative cycle by learning to slow down, getting organized, saying no, and prioritizing projects and areas of your life that are the most important to you. By doing this, you not only reduce the level of stress in your life, but you also improve the quality of your life and live your life with...
Hi, I'm Rob Hubel from Welcome to the Jungle. You're watching T-Radio V, aren't you? Radio on TV. Terrible idea.
In TV.
You shut up. Use that one.
Yo, what's up? This is your boy Kyle Mass, and you're checking out T-Radio V.
T-Radio V. T-Radio V.
Hello, T-Radio V. Love you guys.
Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
T-Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
Why is a white guy like me co-hosting a black radio show? I think toxic relationships cause you to take poorer care of yourself. That if you can recognize danger, if you can pause, if you can take some breaths, refocus, and engage, you might be able to dodge a bullet that you're going to send or coming towards you. One of the things that men don't get is that often women need to vent first to clear their mind. Hey there, first a quick plug. I'm going to be on another radio show. I know that's disloyal, but I'm going to be on it. It's going to be tomorrow between 10:15 and 10:45 Pacific time on Business Rockstars. This show is on 140 stations and is listened to by 3 million people. So we'd love to have you join us, and we're going to see what we can do about the Zo What show and get some of those kind of numbers. So hope you'll be there. I'm going to help the host actually think like Steve Jobs. I've been going around the country teaching people to think like him, and so hope you catch that. But back to the show. This show's about coping, and I am really excited about today's show for a couple reasons. Two reasons are I am in the presence of the two smartest people I know. Zo is one of them, and Doc Barham is the other. I mean, they are autodidacts, and what that means is they are self-taught. They have read more books than I have read pages, and I'm just thrilled to have them and be part of this. Now, a big part of coping is being able, when you're feeling powerless or helpless, instead of withdrawing or raging against people you think who caused it, reach out for help. It's very difficult to do that. Now, two of the people that I reach out to for help are Zo and Doc. And one of the ways to do that, by the way, is just if you can, when you're having trouble coping, if you can just say to yourself, I'm feeling helpless or powerless, who could I reach out to? And here's the way to reach out to them. You call them and or you text them and say, I'd like your help with something, and you can say yes and you can say no. And if you say no, it won't change our relationship. and I'll respect you and your time. But if you say no, please don't give me an explanation of why you're saying no. And then be very specific. So you want to think about, because if you're throwing at the other person, I'm helpless about everything, whatever, they're just going to feel that your helplessness and your anxiety is contagious, and they're going to sort of naturally push away. And so the more if you think of who can actually help me with what, and then you also, when you're doing that, you got to make a commitment to and reciprocating, and whatever that is, and say, look, I appreciate what you're going to do for me. I'm not a taker. I'm a reciprocator. Tell me how I can help you, and let's make this a win-win kind of thing. So I think if you do any of that stuff, not only will it help you cope, you won't feel alone in it, because I think when you're really stressed out and you feel alone, when you feel alone in pain, that's suffering. And people can live with pain, but when you're alone in it, you suffer. And a lot of people just can't live with suffering. So reach out, ask people for help, ask it in that way. Give them the chance to say no, and tell them, no harm, no foul, and you'll still love them in the morning.
Wow. And as is commonplace, Dr. G sets up the topic for today. And I'm going to throw it to the panel after I ask a few questions. Let's make sure that Veronica Conway is on with us. Yeah? Okay. So today's topic comes from a statement that I've been hearing my whole life amongst black folk. And you hear black men saying it more, I think. Somebody call in and correct me. The man, I'm just hanging in there show. What's happening, man? I'm just hanging in there.
Yeah, just
trying to get through the day, man.
Hanging.
Just shit. Right? So, why did I do this show? It's an in-depth look at what coping mechanisms are needed to survive in America while being black. Tough conversation to have. A lot of people get mad at Stephen A. Smith, yelling and banging on these kids, these young sports guys. This is your job. You're in the NFL. You cover up those goddamn tattoos. You wear your suit. Everything's a coping mechanism for black people in America. I've been saying this for a long time. Mm-hmm. In order to be successful, we have to learn how to cope.
Yeah.
Some could make the argument that black people could be probably one of the most stressed people in the world because of how you cope. Like I said, my son's mother almost lost her mind 2 weeks ago when my daughter brought to her attention that our son was pulled over by the cops in Alabama. Now, he's from here, but he's a college student, ball player. We just heard some college kid just got killed in the news. So the fear and the coping that is associated with just being black in America is crazy. Right. So my question is, let's define what coping is. Let's define the mechanisms, and then let's explore which of those mechanisms are being used by black people just by default. Just living. I'm reaching into my pocket, officer, for a napkin. Right? That's a coping mechanism. So let's talk about it. I mean, I got questions, but before you will wait, because Jeff Brown is right outside that door.
I'm filling in for him right now.
No, you're not.
I'm being the mouthpiece.
No, but seriously, I think this is a very serious conversation to have in light of the times that we live in, right? There's this racial angst. We all know that racism is a social construct, right? Because if we get down to the essence of it, everybody is human. So this ideological concept that says white is right, black is wrong, it automatically puts you in a space where you have to cope. Just to be accepted, just to be viewed as normal, just to be valued. Let's speak to that.
White folks couldn't handle what we go through in one day, the rejection and everything we go through. They couldn't handle that for 5 minutes. There was a poem they used that is an older poem called "We Wear the Mask That Grins and Lies," and that's one thing that we have to do. We have to have two masks on our face. One when we deal with Black America, one when we deal with white America. I deal with it all day. I sell art, I sell my stuff, but when I'm dealing with somebody Black, I have to switch my lingo. I have to talk hip hop and get a certain way. But when I'm talking to the white folks, I gotta be namaste. I gotta, I gotta make them feel completely comfortable enough to give them my money. So they say, oh, well, okay, I can calm down. He's a Black person, but he's not one of the, he's a nice
making them feel at ease. Yeah.
He's a nice Negro. But then as soon as they leave and the brothers walk up, rocking the hip hop gear, I gotta be like, yo, what's up, cat? How you doing? Yo, you know what I mean? So that's something that we have to do.
So you telling me
America.
speaking the language is coping?
Yes. Being able to decode and decipher the personalities and the people that you're dealing with in order to survive.
Or speaking of white people's language is the coping mechanism.
Yes.
Okay, that was Tony Be Conscious. Let me just say who all is here. We got Dr. Mark Goulston, author of Just Listen, Get Out of Your Own Goddamn Way. Well, get out of your own way.
Get out of your own goddamn way.
I add my little twist on it. Get out of your own goddamn way. Right? Good book. We've got my homeboy, Kevin Berenger, very, very intelligent and articulate young man of many years of friendship. He's here to smack people in the mouth with the truth. And, of course, new to this roundtable forum, good friend of mine, Doc Barham, another transformational coach in the building, one of the best in the game. And on the phone line, we've got Veronica Conway. You already know she's a superhero.
Yeah, so Veronica and Doc.
Between them two, it's going to be crazy.
And what Tony B, what he was just talking about, Veronica and Doc Way, and they are NLP experts, because if you understand NLP and you learn that, you'll be able to get into conversations and get out safely. Yeah. So there's a whole skill, and it's learnable. It's not rocket science, but it's a way of being able to match whoever's talking to you. Now, granted, when you're stuck and you're cornered and you think you got everything's up against you, but Veronica and Doc, can you weigh in how NLP could be a strategy for survival in situations, and where they can learn about that, and maybe how each of you can do that? Doc, you go first, then Veronica.
Sure. NLP stands for neuro-linguistic programming. So neuro, like your body has a nervous system, linguistic, like language, and programming, which is the tendency for people to do things over and over and over and create habits. So what you do is, with your thoughts, your beliefs, your attitudes, your emotions, your actions, what you're doing is you're always linguistically programming yourself and creating habits or programs that run in you. One of those is language. So the words that we choose have a huge effect on how we think and how we feel, and just by simple things like changing your language can make a huge difference. NLP is essentially the study of excellence and the study of subjective experience, which means what am I doing inside myself, and how do I do it, and how can I do it better? Or what can I know about this person that I'm looking at so that I can communicate with that person better? To me,
that's accountability to me.
Yeah, and what it does is that you can learn a set of skills and a set of principles that allowed you to communicate better with yourself and better with other people. And as you do that, there's more harmony and there's less need for, in my opinion, coping and survival, but you can create beyond that and actually begin to go into what some people might call thriving. Where you're looking for the win-win relationship and those kinds of things.
Wow.
When you can, for example, if two people are talking, right, and I ask you what you had for breakfast, do you remember what you had?
I had an oatmeal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had some kind of cereal?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, say that again. What did you have for breakfast?
Oatmeal.
You had oatmeal?
Yeah.
Okay. Feel the difference?
I do, actually.
That's right.
I had to think about it the first time, like, what did I have? God damn it. I had oatmeal. And now I feel like,
So what I said was oatmeal, and I even matched the tonality of the way you said it.
Right.
So I chose to say oatmeal in the same vocal tonality and the same kind of timing as well.
Oh.
So I paid really close attention, and what I did by that is I actually mirrored you and I matched you. So both your conscious and subconscious mind are actually going, oh, okay, I'm in alignment, I'm in rapport with this guy's in rapport with me. So if you have a conversation with somebody, what's happening a lot of times is we're not really listening to the other person so much as we're listening to ourselves, and we're projecting our world out onto them,
Wow.
hoping they're going to be like us, which
Right.
really creates a lot of win-lose and kind of causes communication breakdown and relationship breakdown, and therein comes a lot of the coping.
And
Well,
we're going to break and we'll have Veronica back, right?
Yeah. We got to go to break, and then Veronica comes back, and then we could talk about the win-win as opposed to the win-lose kind of culture we're in, right? This is going to be fucking crazy. We'll be back at 2.2 Zoe Up Morning Show. The coping mechanism. Man, I'm just trying to get through it, dog.
Hey geeks, wake up! We got big news. I'm not gonna mumble this time. Geekscape, the long-running movie video game. Let me do one more. Hey geeks, we got big news! Geekscape, your favorite show about movies, video games, comics, and TV, is coming to T-Radio V Monday, October 6th. And it'll be on every Monday from then on, 7 p.m. Until the apocalypse happens, we're all eaten by zombies.
In Chapter 10, we talk about the difference between being embittered, embattled, or embittered. So, if you're embittered, of course you're holding on to things. You're resentful, you're resistant. If you're embattled, you're fighting. No, I don't accept that. I don't want that. But if you're open and you're allowing the process to unfold and flower within you and beyond you, you have an opportunity to become embittered. And Chapter 10 goes into detail on how to stop being embittered, how to stop looking for the win by being embattled, and how to evolve and expand to a space of embitterment. I mean, it's an incredible work, man, and I'm excited about it.
You've been chasing after shorter pictures. I can't make you turn up.
What it do? Is your man Money B from Digital Underground asking everybody to check out the Going Way Back Show, your home for classic hip-hop, raw and uncut. Join me
and me, DJ Always,
as well as Ty Teasy, bringing you the old school new news every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here
on T-Radio V.
That's right, Radio in TV.
T-Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
The social relations that we create and interact with were built and developed during the periods of slavery. We have not escaped it at all. But it is time for us to change the slave consciousness, this consciousness of servitude that is still too much with us today. And ultimately, we ask the question that's closest to home for a lot of people. When we claim that we've escaped slavery, and the slavery was something back there, which had nothing to do with us today. And then I ask you the question, what kind of God do you worship?
But why did you call it whitenicious? I mean, that says everything, doesn't it? The play on delicious.
Whitenicious means, white means pure. White means, but it doesn't mean that white skin, but white in general. That's how I look at it. It means pure. When you have dark spots, a lot of people don't feel confident, they don't feel pure, they don't feel clean with dark spots.
You state in your mind white means pure. You are sick in your head, little girl. You're sick. Because if you think that white means pure, and you think that looking white or looking close to white is pure, then you are infected with that old slave master ideology yourself. Nobody taught it to you. You feel being dark-skinned is a problem, so you risk your health and everything to lighten your skin. I understand the point about not liking being dark. I get it. I went through that at one point in time, too, when I was younger. People do ridicule you because you're dark, male or female. They do ridicule your features. They do that, okay, in this country, because in this country, it is taught that the lighter you are or closer to white you are is better. That comes from that mindset of white supremacy. It does. But it doesn't mean you have to accept that and the lie of that. Because I understand the white standard of beauty in America is what's promoted 24/7 on television before everybody.
The next thing is, what does it say? The paralysis of analysis by those who believe in it. Oh my God. What does that mean? Just what it says. Those who take on this belief system suffer from a disease that I refer to as a paralysis of analysis. You don't think. You were indoctrinated. I was indoctrinated. Now, what does that mean? That means that the church took its doctrine and put it into your mind. That's what indoctrinate means. So when you as an African have been indoctrinated with Euro-Gentile philosophical thought, you are out of your mind.
I'm in. We're here. We're with you.
Yo! We back in the building, the Zoe What Morning Show on T Radio V. The reason why I like to have these type of shows and twist it, I told Doc Barham today, I said, it's coping mechanisms with a twist. Because in order for us to understand each other and work with each other, there are people who listen to this show, and they'll say, why you got these white people in here? What are white people doing here? You guys are talking about some heavy shit pertaining to the black community. Why are white people here? Because black people traded with white folks many years ago, and it was cool.
Come on.
It was cool, right? It was we were okay with each other. We traded with other cultures, right? And then racism as a construct came into being. And this is where all the problems came in once racism was created. So how do we undo all of this? We're going to have these type of blended conversations to understand the problem. Krishnamurti, one of my favorite philosophers, says, the solution is inherent in the problem. So you must embrace the problem in order to get to the solution. Period. When you don't know an algebraic equation, just because you're confused and you don't understand it, doesn't mean the answer isn't in it. You just have to go through the process of breaking it down to find the solution within the problem.
Or take that F.
That's what we're doing.
Exactly.
Veronica Conway, can you speak to what Dr. G asked you to speak to before we went to break?
With your fine self.
I want to speak to NLP. I want to speak to NLP in the context of the subject matter, which is really how I use it to deal with internalized racism and internalized oppression in black people. So what you can do with NLP is you can go back to the root event. We call it the gestalt. The first event, I call it race wounds. When you found out what it really meant to be black, we usually have a defining event or set of events that gives us our identity and definition around blackness, right, because of the assault that we've been under. So, for example, I took a guy who was having difficulty competing in the workplace, right? He would have difficulty kind of showing up and standing in his power, and he backed down. It was a brother, right? And when I took him back through hypnotic regression into his early race wound, he had the thing where he was in the Jim Crow South, and somebody said, a bunch of kids and young adults said, you compete with us, boy, and we'll kill you.
Wow.
And because they were killing Negroes at the time, he internalized that and began to filter throughout the rest of his life to not compete with white people. That's a really profound example of a coping mechanism that I think a lot of brothers experience because they're afraid of either white aggression or white tears, right? Oh, why? I mean, you can't say I'm racist. We're afraid of either white aggression or white tears, so we end up not competing with them.
Wow.
Because that's been the messaging that we've gotten all this time. So I use NLP in that context to deconstruct all the shit that we've been fed as black people. That's how I use it.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
very powerful.
That's deep.
what when I see the average young boy, and I'm gonna throw this to Jeff. When I see the average young African American man, because that kid is in trouble.
Absolutely.
Unless he conforms. For me, conforming is coping. And that's black leadership. This is how we teach young African American boys to be, listen to this, successful. We teach them how to cope and stay out of the way. And when I say stay out of the way, I don't just mean physically, I mean ideologically. I mean intellectually. Because in order to have a new thought, you've got to be a rebel. But they're squashing the rebel in young black men. Well, you said something about what a successful black man is. And you called him something. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
What was that?
A successful black man is basically, and a shout out to Kevin Powell, who is where I got this from. A bastardized version of a successful white man.
Damn.
From this place. Try to convince Irish people that them annoying ass bagpipes ain't the shit. Try to convince Polish people that them damn polka dots ain't the shit. There is no propaganda that I know of going through any machine to do exactly that. Young black males don't have a true base. Their roots are not rooted in any earth, any soil of their own. If somebody, shout out to Jake. It's I ain't shit.
What up, Jake? Put yourself on camera, pimp.
It's I ain't shit Monday. We hate Monday. Damn. Anyway, if a Mexican shoots me in the head and jumps in a carpet van and makes it to Tijuana, he's got a chance.
What the fuck?
Where the fuck am I going? Where the fuck am I going? I am purposely cut off from anything to do with what is intrinsically mine. I got to seek that out, and it's not fair. It's just the work that has to be done.
No, I agree with what Jeff is saying. To me, though, most melanated or young melanated people, and people in general, they just don't know the game. So if you don't know the game, then you have to find ways to cope and hold on and deal, because you're not actually playing the game. The game is playing you. So, the point is to try to learn what's going on. How are these people running things? Why am I being treated this way? What is the real reason? And if you truly understand and learn the game of how to play it, then you will be in the game and not being used by the game. And this is what I've been trying to say for the longest, which Zoe hates me saying.
I didn't say I hate. Who said I hate it?
You know you don't hate me. You know you hate me saying that. But one of the things is your status in law, and this is how people play the game. So, like, the definition of the word person is the rank a man holds in society. And so, if you understand what rank is, that means what level in society that you're on. And so for most melanated people, you are second-class citizens. Actually, for most people now, everyone is in that status. But definitely for most melanated people, you are in a second-class citizenship or status. And if you don't understand that, then you don't understand why you're being treated that way. Learn that and learn how to get yourself into a different status or a class of citizenship, and then you will be out of that.
Interesting.
In this book of mine, Get Out of Your Own Way, which was published in 1996, here's a little plug-in. If you go to self-help books on Amazon, just look up self-help books. This is 20 years old, and it's been in the top 3 for 5 years. And so one of the chapters, it's all these self-defeating behaviors, but one of the chapters is refusing to play games.
Uh-oh.
And so
I already told people that book was stupid. Here we go.
And then at the end of each chapter, there's a little thing, a little quip to remember. And I think at the end of that one, refusing to play games is the best defense against the game playing in life is to play it well.
That's right.
Wow.
Because you can't get away from it. Go ahead.
What if you actually take it on as find a game worth playing, master it, and play it as if your life depended on it?
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
That's a slam dunk. Yeah.
Damn. Okay, Tony B.
That's what I was gonna say. Is
No, you weren't. No, go ahead.
My son is 8 years old, and I watched the Hunger Games, and I'm thinking I've got to already. He's only 8, but I've got to prepare him to walk out into this society, and when he sees white folks, I got to prepare him on how to act a certain way. And when he sees young brothers, he got to act a certain way, because now even our own people is trying to punk us and test us when we're young. I got to teach him how to cope with this society just so he survives just walking down the street in America
Jeff Brown?
as a young black boy.
Jeff Brown?
I got to disagree with that.
I know. It's what you do.
Because nobody taught Ice-T.
Ooh,
Nobody
ooh.
taught Ice Cube. Nobody
ooh.
taught Chuck D that. Nobody taught El Haj Malik Shabazz that. And I will not teach my son that. I will
But
not.
You know what's interesting?
I can't.
So everybody is saying a version of kind of the same thing. So, okay, you're learning to play the game. But what is your intention behind learning to play the game?
Absolutely.
If your intention is to say, I'm going to learn to play this game and master it so that I may have the power and the resources to create my own game.
Yes.
Now you're in another space.
What does winning look like?
Winning looks like creating your own game.
There you go.
Creating your own narrative.
But that's the same
But
thing.
you can't. But okay.
Especially for people in a society that's coping, the game, right? Success would be having the power and the resources to write your own social game rules, as opposed to integrating and coping and trying to stay out of trouble. Do you understand what I'm saying? Success would be saying, this is my narrative.
Trouble comes with writing your own narrative.
But listen, we're
What's that?
traumatized.
Say trouble comes with writing your own narrative?
For African Americans.
Yes, it does.
For African Americans.
Trouble comes with everybody. Henry Ford.
Yeah, I was going to say trouble comes with anybody who wants
Anybody
to
who
step
writes
outside
their
the
own
box,
narrative.
right?
Right.
The problem is,
But what's the
guarding?
alternative? To stay inside the box? I mean, what's the choice?
The choice is which this is one of the few brothers I trust with no mustache. No mustache, a socially acceptable afro. I'm not. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Larry Elder look. I can't.
No. But go ahead. Say it.
I can't raise a son like that because I wasn't raised like that. I was raised by Zulus, by brothers in Chicago.
You know what?
That was on another page.
Jeff.
And it wasn't that they didn't even speak the other language. All they were was hard-working down south brothers that came to Chicago, busted their ass, and fed their families. I learned to speak the other language, but I, in many instances, resent it. I just happen to be very good at it.
Wow. Hey, listen, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to deal more. We're going to bring Veronica Conway in. She's going to speak to this. This is the Man I'm Just Trying to Make It Through show. Coping. The coping mechanism show, man. We'll be back in 2.2 seconds.
I'm Ty Simpkins. Miss Danielle Basutti. Hi, this is Brooke Peoples. I'm Jocelyn Donahue.
Hi, I'm Keegan Allen, and you're watching
T Radio V. T Radio V.
T Radio V, radio in TV. Was that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
T Radio V. Yo!
T Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
Hey geeks, wake up! We got big news. I'm not gonna mumble this time. Geekscape, the long-running movie video game. Let me do one more. Hey geeks, we got big news! Geekscape, your favorite show about movies, video games, comics, and TV, is coming to T Radio V Monday, October 6th. And it'll be on every Monday from then on, 7 p.m. Until the apocalypse happens, we're all eaten by zombies.
T Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
Throughout its inception during the time of the Roman Empire, Christian evangelicals have seen their primary tasks as spreading the gospel and making disciples. Their practice was to avoid any issues that might interfere with what they believed was this single mission of the church. They called for changes in the hearts of people, rather than changes in the institution of government. They believed that whatever was wrong in society would be corrected when more men and women were converted to Christianity. During the early 1700s, there began a controversial movement to present the gospel to the slaves. Slavery was seen as a necessity for the survival of agricultural business in the South. Therefore, many opposed preaching to the slaves because they feared slaves would automatically be freed once they received the gospel. In order to maintain the status quo, Christian leaders and slave owners used passages from the Bible to teach slaves that God had divinely ordained them to be slaves. As stated earlier, the most popular scripture passage used was the so-called Curse of Ham, found in the book of Genesis 9:20 through 25. The name Ham carries the meaning of hot, burnt, or black. The Bible refers to Egypt as the land of Ham in Psalm 78, 105, and 106. Using the incident about Ham, many white evangelicals came to believe that the Bible supported slavery, and that the so-called Curse of Ham made Africans an inferior race.
But come down a step and try to apply the mystical insight in the practical affairs of everyday life, and what do you get? You get a parody of mysticism. You get the idea not that everybody is equal in the sight of God, but that all people are equally inferior. And that's why all bureaucracies are rude, why the police are rude, and why you're made to wait in lines and are obstreperous income tax individuals and all that sort of person. Because everybody's a crook. Everybody's equally inferior. See, that becomes the parody of democracy. And that kind of society, watch out for it. It turns in a quick click into fascism because of its terror of the outsider. Now, a free and easy society loves outsiders. In fact, it's a little bad for the outsider's integrity, because he becomes the holy man, see? And people make salams and give him food and all that. They really take care of the outsider, because they know that man is doing for us what we haven't got the guts to do.
Yikes. Zoa Morning Show back in the building. T Radio V, that's Radio and TV. Listen, it's about doing content that makes you uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
I said, man, if we can't keep you up at night, you think you doing it, you think you normal, you think you're on the right path, but then you wake up to find out that all you've been doing this whole time is coping.
Just make you disrespect your white girlfriend out of nowhere. Todd, what's the problem? Bitch, shut up! This is
what? But listen, you saw that clip about slavery, right?
Yeah.
Read this word.
Pistanthrophobia. Fear of trusting people due to past experiences with relationships gone bad.
Is this not a condition of black folk?
Oh my God.
So seriously, like black folk
don't deal with black.
Don't
folk.
deal with white folk.
The white man's ISIS.
We don't deal with black folks.
No. Hear what I'm saying though. There is first off, the way black folk deal with each other is kind of nigga. You ain't talking shit, nigga. Get your ass up out of here. The way black people deal with white folk is more like side eye. It's fuck you want, you know. Why yourounced here?
If that master come down here, one more of us come up missing.
Do you understand what I'm
What's
saying?
your real purpose?
What's your real reason for being here?
Reason for being here?
Unless you go to the Bay Area.
I want Veronica to weigh in. Veronica, you still there?
I'm still here.
Yeah, Veronica, weigh in on how do you jettison, the weight on you from a bad relationship so that you can be clear in a new one. Because what have you discovered, either personally or professionally, about the best way to do that? And then I'd love to hear what Doc has to say.
Well, I look at anything that has to do with the stuff around coping mechanisms and black internalized oppression and racism or trauma from a relationship. I look at it all the same. It's like you have to go back to the root cause of why you're behaving the way that you are, right? You got to go to the root. There's always a root cause traumatic event where you made a decision about how life was going to be, how people are, what it means to be black. You make these decisions. And so you have to go back and redecide those, discharge the emotion, and then you can begin to filter differently. Oftentimes when people have dysfunctional relationships, their stuff really tracks earlier back between the ages of 0 and 7 when we're imprinting stuff. So even though we're recovering from the trauma today, maybe we're 30 years old, I got to take them back to maybe when they were in their mom's tummy, right? and have them get clear about the real root cause event. And if you can blow it out at that level, then it blows out in the rest of their lives.
Tell me if you just triggered something, because I've done a fair amount with post-traumatic stress disorder. I actually wrote a book on it. And sometimes people, even though they understand what you're saying, they don't want to go back to an event like that. When I've drilled down to people, why don't you want to go back? And they say, the first time should have killed me. And and if I go back, it'll finish the job. Even I was doing everything I could just to get out of something that should have killed me. I don't know why it didn't. It killed people around me. But if I go back there, I think it's going to open up something, and I'm not going to heal it. I'm not going to get over it. It's going to wash me away, and I'm going to be Looney Tunes the rest of my life, and I'll have to kill myself because I won't be able to tolerate it. So does any of that fit?
Right, and that's why
anyone?
That's why people walk around avoiding facing off that. That's why you have to do it hypnotically. Because if you can do it hypnotically, you can I can sneak them back in there, and before they know it, they're in and facing it and healing, and then I get out. Right? That's why you have to do that. That's why I think you have to do that, because the reason that they haven't faced it is because they're afraid they will die.
When you come into L.A., Ronnie,
you got to hypnotize them into that.
Well, I agree. I mean, one of the things
yeah.
about hypnotizing somebody is it begins to allow them to realize that what they're doing is telling a story. They're identified with the story. And when you begin to relax deeply and move into a hypnotic state, you can actually stand away from the story, and therefore it doesn't trigger all the same emotions that you're talking about.
Right.
So it allows the person to be more objective. It's like the difference between being in the movie and being in the seat looking at the movie.
Right.
Or if you have the example of when you go to a movie theater and just before the movie plays, you know you're sitting in the seat. You know the thing on the screen is actually a creation, right?
Yes.
But what happens? The light goes down, the movie starts, you begin to get drawn in, sucked in, absorbed, and hypnotized by it, and then you start having the actual physiological sensations as if you're part of the movie,
Right.
which is entirely an illusion.
Right.
And NLP is about recognizing, and Veronica, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong here, but it's about recognizing what it is these are internal representations that are based upon memory. So they're not necessarily truths. That's a big distinction. Right. So people many times mistake their perception for truth or for reality, when actually what it is it's a perception that was encoded into the nervous system and the memory of the individual. And when someone realizes that, they suddenly have a tremendous amount of growth and empowerment as a result of it.
I want you to talk about how the perception also gets turned into a projection.
Right. So that perception becomes encoded in the memory, and then that person will tend to have a belief or set of beliefs, which becomes an attitude, and then they will tend to project that out onto reality, which then becomes self-reinforcing.
Right.
It tends to keep feeding back to them. See, this is actually reality. This is my belief, and it's very simple. I mean, it really is as simple as something like go focus on something like, I got a white car recently, right? I used to have a bronze-colored car. I purchased a new car. It's a white car. Suddenly I start seeing white cars everywhere.
Right.
Is that reality?
Right.
No, what it is there's an identification, which is this is my car, which happens to be the color white, and now I'm seeing white cars everywhere. So that's an example of how something can get encoded into your mind, your nervous system.
And Veronica, and then I'm gonna throw it to you. Veronica, let me. But no, we're gonna speak to it culturally. But what I want to do is, I want to show how culturally this turns into intellectualization, because now we've got the perception, we've got the projection, and then the belief system. Then it becomes an intellectualization. Now we're making it make sense, and we're it's almost like we're proselytizing it.
It's like taking Santa Claus and going, oh yeah, Santa Claus is real. He has to fly in reverse of the international date line in order to make all this shit happen.
Oh God!
Are you starting your rant early,
Veronica?
That would be good.
Santa. I think we have to look at. I'm a deep student of. I look at perception and projection sort of personally, right, in terms of when I serve individual clients or groups of clients. But I also look at it very deeply as a whole, because I realize that because we as Black people have experienced all this trauma and we perceive reality in a very specific way. In other words, we're wounded, we're victims, we're hunted, they gonna kill us, we got to protect our feelings, we got to, we're inferior, all the stuff that we've internalized. Then guess what? We take that and we project it. That's what internalized racism is. We take the perception of our experience, we're experiencing at the hands of white supremacy, and then we project it into our reality. And that's the thing that has to be interrupted in our culture for us to win.
Wow. Jeff?
I think all of these things are wonderful once the firestorm stops. What it sounds like we're discussing is the kind of shit you can do to mentally and socially gird yourself up for the bully tomorrow. And all of that's fine and good for when tomorrow comes. Right now, the bully is stomping your ears together. So, this is all wonderful for tomorrow. But right now, nigga, this dude is putting them things on me.
Thang-a-langs.
He putting them doorknobs on me. What do I do right here, right now, to at least slow this ass whooping down?
At least hold on. Grab on.
Yeah. And we have time for an old Jeff Brown joke, about 45 seconds.
No.
Okay.
No, go ahead, Jeff. Get us.
I got a ticket the other day for rolling a stop sign here in California. Lights came on behind me. Police officer came up and explained that it was called the California stop. And I said, officer, I don't know the difference. He said, okay, well, I'll show you. Step out. So he takes his nightstick out and commences to beating the shit out of me. And he says, now, Mr. Brown, would you like for me to slow down or would you like for me to stop?
Wow.
That's the difference.
I love it, Jeff.
Do you love it?
This is a former Star, what is it?
Star Search?
Star Search winner.
Comedy champion.
We
Barry a Black comedy competition.
Hey, listen. Hey, check it out. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, the intellectual rant with Jeff Brown.
Yes. More of Jeff Brown.
Hi, I'm Bob Nalbandian, and be sure to watch my show Inside Metal, which airs live every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on T Radio V. I'm going to be bringing in the greatest heavy metal artists live right here in the studio. Once again, every week at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every Tuesday, right here at TRadioV.com. Radio in TV.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This your boy Crazy Bone. Man, I'm the bum Keith G, man. And whenever you sitting at home and can't shake the monkey off your back, yeah, then just know every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Right. You can tune in to the Quick Fix and get your fix on, man. Right here on TRadioV.com, baby. Radio and TV. Now, how they gonna see us on the radio then? Radio, I don't know. Or is it TV and radio? But it's one of them. I gotta figure this radio and TV thing out though, bro. I don't understand. I'm gonna tell my mom how she gonna see us. Get it together.
Everybody knows that relationships, when they break down, can be extremely hurtful, disappointing, frustrating, and the Cocoon was, the concept of it was created from a poem I wrote called The Human Chrysalis in my first book, The Rebirth of Seeds. And what I explained was, when you break up with someone, you need time and space to kind of flush out and process all of your feelings, all of your attachments, your evaluation of yourself, your evaluation of your partner, time to almost take inventory of all of the things that you are accountable for. So in chapter 3, the Cocoon is designed for you to go inside and work out these, particular problems or issues, and not only work them out, but actually take ownership of them before you jump into something else with someone else. So we wanted to create this space of healing, this space of kind of internal inventory before moving into the next situation with unresolved relationship debris.
You gotta let it go. There's a better day waiting for you, for you, for you.
Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
Wow. As usual, Zoe Williams with the dope topic.
Hey.
I'm a bit of a fatalist on this subject.
Oh, Jesus.
You ever, those of you who've owned fish tanks know what I'm talking about. You can only keep your fish tank so clean for so long, and then you have to take all the fish and all the rocks and all the stuff out and clean the entire bowl and put everything back. I think in society we have arrived at that place, especially as black people. The conversation that we are having now, and this is the higher levels of us. Trust me, white people here and white people listening, there are some lower level niggas than represented here. Woo-woo. We represent the
Stop showing out in front of company.
That's hilarious. I heard that so much. We represent the higher thinkers. When I tell you that it is time that this conversation should have been had on a mass level sometime right before Ronald Reagan went looking for money to fund Iran-Contra and put crack in the neighborhoods. He's no different than Chapo. Or Chapo's no different than him. We should have had this conversation then. Now it is too far gone. There's a generation and a half of leaders missing. And I'm not talking about the Jesse Jacksons and the Al Sharptons of the world. I'm talking about the leaders that are right in the houses, the hardworking men that you see go to work and come home and provide for their family. The man that Chuck D was talking about when he said, they asked me where I get it from my pops, because with a man in the house, all the bullshit stops. That dude is gone. What is going to have to happen, I say it and I say it again, until the dollar, which is the thing that black people most use to separate ourselves, niggas don't worship Allah or Jesus, they worship money, because whenever somebody fucks up bad enough, if they rich enough, the first place black folks go to, well, that nigga got money, it's the first thing they say. Until that dollar means nothing, and Puffy or Jay-Z or Jordan is being chased down the street next to a homeless black man by the same militia man, black people will not unite until something cataclysmic cleanses our fishbowl.
Wow.
That one held together, Jeff.
Jesus.
Wow.
Jeff Brown. Intellectual rant.
Wow. Intellectual.
Fuck. Give me that, man. Shit.
We're
Hopefully.
gonna all this is academic. As long as I can make enough money to leave those in trouble.
Right.
As long as I can make enough money to separate myself by what I wear and what I drive. I don't look at when I see young black.
Is this?
I mean, I'm
is
going
this
further.
the rant part 2?
This is rant part 2.
Okay.
If I don't,
Jesus.
And what we got to stop doing is we have to embrace our youth, because we let them down. They not letting us down. We let them down.
That's right.
Yes.
When you see young brothers in cornrows and plaid,
That's
at least
right.
me, I don't see some thug. I see an entrepreneur.
Right.
I see a dude that say, you know what? Fuck a regular job. I'm selling incense and pit bull puppies out the back of my car, and the one with the ring around his eye is $50 extra.
Pit bull puppies. But let me ask this. Because this is very important. Let me ask this. Is coping, and fuck race and gender, but is coping for any human being a kind of slavery?
Oh, absolutely.
Coping?
Yes.
Sure. Because
Yes.
I mean, like you said, how do you define coping? Because different people have different set levels.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
I mean, there are people who actually, you could take one person and they'll fold up, and another person under the same amount of stress will actually thrive.
Right.
So much of it has to do with interpretation,
Mhm.
right? I mean, if you look at when somebody goes through a Navy SEAL process, right?
Right.
What's going on there? You're constantly getting tested about how can you cope. For each of these guys, when they do better than just cope, they move up the ladder, and eventually, if they make it, they end up becoming a Navy SEAL. I think that that's true for all of us, and a lot of us just haven't learned the tools that allow us to take one level of coping and turn it into nothing that bothers us whatsoever. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, it's resilience is what it is.
That's what I was going to say. Your level of resilience, Kev, and then Veronica.
Okay, and for me, well, the word coping, the way people use it today, is actually it's opposite of what it actually means. Most people use coping as a way just to get by, to get along, or a mechanism to handle the stress. The actual definition of coping means to hit or to punch or blow. So the true coping is to actually fight back.
I will cope the shit out your ass.
Cope
You
your
hear me?
ass. And it actually produces the same word cop, like police. So
Wow.
which is to hit, which is why they beat on your ass. But you know, the true way of the cope is to learn what you're dealing with. And like for melanated people in America, they have no idea what they're dealing with. Like, and even actually, that's for everyone. Like, so most people think that they're dealing with governments in America, and you're not. You're dealing with corporations. There are corporations there are governments and citizens and corporations and assets. And this is what you're dealing with: corporations and assets. The people of America are an asset. And so if you start to understand this language and start to learn what you truly are, you can come out of that and start to manipulate the system and the game instead of being manipulated by it.
You could be the Merovingian.
There you go. Right inside the
I've
matrix,
dealt with 6 of your predecessors.
Hooking it up.
Okay, you have some skill. Right? You're the Merovingian.
You're the Merovingian.
Of the Matrix.
That's right. You're
right?
You're sliding,
You get to manipulate the walls and shit like Neo.
Exactly.
Okay, so you have some skill. Right? Right?
Well, it goes back to also the show you had last week. Caucasian people learn the game, and that is unity. Like you have to.
No. They don't learn the game.
Well, no, I said they learned.
That's their game.
Well, they had to learn that. They had to learn that game.
They learned that shit by osmosis. That shit's on cruise control.
If you playing Monopoly and your granddaddy is the man on the front, the old white dude, that's your daddy. That's your game.
Well, I think at a certain level of development, you have a mindset that's win-lose, and that has to do with what the level of development of the ego is and the soul of that person, right? If you continue to grow and evolve, what you realize is that no matter what, we're all connected, right? What I do is going to affect everybody in some regard, in some way over time. I remember a client of mine when I was doing an LP came in, and he was from Israel, which is a really embattled culture and a really embattled company. And he sat down in the chair and he said to me, I said, well, what can I do for you? And he said really clearly, I want power over people.
Wow.
And I was shocked because the first thing I thought was, wow, what a Darth Vader thing. Right? And the second thing is I actually respected the fact that he was willing to be that blunt and direct. So I sat and I listened and I paid very, very close attention. And what I recognized in listening to him is that this is actually a little boy inside. And the little boy was really, really hurt. And that he had built up this massive front that was, I'm going to control people and have power over people because this is my strategy to make sure that they can't hurt me.
Security, yeah.
Right? Because I'm wounded inside and the wound hasn't healed. So we worked together for about 6 months, and at the end of the 6-month period, he sat down one day and he said, I had an incredible revelation. I don't want any power over people. I want to empower people. This is the best stuff I have ever learned. Thank you.
Wow.
That's what's possible.
So he's telling us right now that white supremacy was created by a little white boy. Right?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a mic, so you couldn't have said it. I like fucking with Tony B. Conscious. He's the homie. Listen, this show is incredible. We had to deal with it. Now can we deal with, when we come back, a little repression, right? Can we deal with some repression as a coping mechanism? Because there are a lot of people who just say, you know what, I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to compartmentalize it. I'm going to repress it. I'm going to pack it away, right? This is why when they sit in front of Doc, they got to unpack it. In front of Doc, Veronica, both Docs, they got to unpack it. Well, why do I want to unpack this pain? I've already packed it away, right? It's a little lump in under the proverbial carpet of my mind, but I fucking got used to the lump, right? You understand what I'm saying?
I set my drink on the lump.
Right. So when we come back, we'll deal with repression, compartmentalization, and all of that. So what morning?
I'm Laura Samoza.
I'm Sterling Gardner.
And we are Between the Sheets every Monday here, 3 p.m., tradiov.com.
T-Radio-V.
That's right. It's T-Radio-V, Radio in TV. What is that face?
He wants to see our hands.
That's Radio in TV. Wah, 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 wah.
We're not a couple.
Hi, I'm Sheriff John Bonnell. You're watching T-Radio. Radio and TV? What? Perfect. That was perfect. Why are you asking me to do this after 12 drinks?
T-Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
One of the first to get a reputation for doing something different was DJ Kool Herc.
I was a guy that never went downtown. I stayed in the neighborhood and formed a culture called
hip hop. I was the guy that didn't follow with the rest of the people.
Well, basically, Kool Herc was the guy who got 2 turntables and a system, came out in a big park, and he rocked the park, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't called hip hop when I was doing it. It was called a jam. Coming to the jam.
These parties were an outlet for a lot of aggressive energy that was bottled up otherwise.
In the house! Is everybody in the house?
As the nascent hip-hop scene absorbed the street gang's energy, it began to flourish and the word spread across town. Subway trains tagged up in the Bronx's vast train yards took graffiti, hip-hop's visual message, right into the heart of Manhattan.
Rhythm and blues music originate. The blues' origins relate to the struggles of the South's heavy African American population in coming up through slavery and entering into a world of inequality, hatred and contempt. The term blues is derived from the phrase blues devils, which means sadness or deep depression. The term appears as early as 1798 in George Coleman's short play, Blues Devils. Music developed from these feelings and climate in the deep south of the United States as 12-bar style songs. The term 12-bar blues was created by the song structures of early blues artists utilizing chord progressions using only the first 12 billion Argentine pesos of a sheet of music. This created short, quickly played tunes that would eventually lead to modern radio-formatted 3-minute pop song. W.C. Handy, a composer and musician of a band known as the Maharam Minstrels, discovered blues music, no news for the Deep South, while on a tour of Mississippi during the early 1900s. According to Handy, while he was waiting for the train, writesabout.com, he heard the unforgettable sound of a man running a knife against the strings of his guitar while he sang, "Goin' Where the Southern Cross the Dog." A decade later, Handy would publish Memphis Blues.
So, no, man. I argue. This is how beautiful humanity is. Look what pain and coping produced. The blues, jazz, hip hop, R&B. Look, these are coping mechanisms, man.
Gangs.
Yep.
Gang! A gang is a coping mechanism.
Right.
My daddy ain't home.
That's it.
The family is disjointed. I'm not really connected to the family, so the gang is my family.
Absolutely.
So the gang is a coping mechanism. And then the coping mechanism gets criminalized, right?
You can't belong to a gang.
Look, gangster rap. So gangster rap, let me get off the street where I can be killed at any moment. Let me get the fuck off the street and into the studio and rap about this shit I would be in
if
on
I was
the
not
street.
in.
Right?
Exactly.
So, fuck that. That's wrong too. Oh, shit. Do you see what I'm saying? Every
criminalized. Outlet gets blockaded.
White people come in and say, R&B, thank you. Blues, thank you. We'll take all of that. We don't sell those records to white folk. We have to re-sing those records. Oh, and by the way, we're going to pay you pennies.
Yeah.
We own it too.
Right.
But do you see, like, how does one, after all of that, say, you heard that saying, I'm just happy to be awake. Not if you're, as Doc just explained, coping is slavery. Who want to wake up in jail every day going, damn, it's a beautiful day, man. This shit is wonderful out here in this cell.
Yeah.
What?
That's the place he arrived at. And it wasn't, when he was 9, he didn't say, you know what, I want to grow up and do 35 years and be happy that I see the sun through my bars.
Dr. G?
Doc said something that I want to comment on. He said something about that. He told a story about someone saying he wanted power over people, and then he discovered he wanted to empower people. And I'm thinking, if your view of life is either I'm going to have power over people or people are going to have power over me, boy, you need a lot of stamina and resilience to do that on a daily basis.
That's exhausting.
And I could see how people you're exhausted. And I guess the challenge is, and I want everybody, but especially Veronica and Doc, to weigh in. How do you go from giving up life as only either having power over people or having them have power over you to empowering others? Because there's a lot of people who are gurus who will say, "Oh, I'm here to empower you." No, they have power over their cults. So, what needs that? Because I think if everyone was empowering each other, and had less ego and more about, a rising tide to lift all hopes, how any thoughts about how to make that happen?
Can
Because
you empower somebody who doesn't believe in their own power, though?
How do you get somebody to believe
in themselves first?
How do you get somebody to be willing? Is that possible, Veronica?
Yeah, go Veronica, then Bob.
I'm sorry.
No, then you, and then Doc. Go in.
Here's the thing. One of the things that, we talked about coping mechanisms and how they create all this beauty, and we've created beautiful things out of it. But we as Black people have a higher threshold for pain, probably superhuman threshold for ongoing, sustained pain, probably more than most other cultures, because we've been
who gonna argue that?
100 years.
Who gonna argue that?
We've been going through it so long.
Can't nobody argue that. Go ahead, Veronica.
Right. So, but we have to understand the price that we pay for having that high level of threshold. It's how to survive and be creative and beautiful. But what also happens is that we become numb and we become shut down. And so I think that we're sitting on a keg of dynamite. And unfortunately, because of internalized racism, we tend to point our dynamite at ourselves and each other. Because in a certain way, fundamentally, there's a certain fundamental decision that we haven't made, which is to begin to respond to our oppressor in kind. And because we keep avoiding that, whatever you avoid runs your life. Whatever
what you
avoid
resist
runs your
will
life.
persist.
Because we keep avoiding that, we sit on this dynamite, we sit on all this power, we sit on all this rage. But I promise when you transform it and heal it, it becomes nuclear power. And we just have to get there.
Yeah, it's like when they talk about shadow, right? Shadow is the parts of you don't want to know about.
Right.
But therein lies so much energy because there's so much repression going on, right? All of that gold and all of that energy, all of that power, all of those gifts, actually, there's an enormous amount of that is actually behind that shadow. That's just what she's talking about.
And creative.
Right.
That's
creativity.
That's what Carl Jung talked about. The shadow self, right? All the conflict and unresolved shit is trying to rise to the conscious from the subconscious, right? And it's trying to rise to the conscious so that it may be resolved. Most people don't understand. What we're doing when we feel it coming up, we're trying to suppress it, compartmentalize it, rationalize it, trying to think it away, push it. You understand what I'm saying, Doc? Speak to that. And I mean, Jeff, then Doc.
Somebody help me out. Maybe this elephant isn't.
Oh, you need help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe this elephant isn't in the room.
Maybe it is.
My generation and the generation before, slightly before me and mostly after me, doesn't want to die.
Of course not.
It's as simple as that. There was a generation before them that realized everybody keeps trying to make shit better for them.
Right.
It's not the get down.
Right.
That's not the get down.
Yes.
It's going to come a time, and they're behind me because my generation has failed. What has happened is that this system of living has created a monster that was eating itself and has become full of that taste. It is tired of eating itself. And it is going to turn around and start eating its creator. And until it is fed and full.
Fed and full, not paid and full.
Fed and full.
No
Fed and full.
change.
New Rakim and Eric B. album.
Fed and full. That's right. And the concept that there ain't gonna be some broke eggs at the end of this, that we gonna save everybody. That's the underlying shit here. We're not gonna save everybody. Everybody ain't gonna get the message. Everybody ain't gonna fall in line with this. Some motherfuckers is gonna die, and a lot of them is gonna be white.
I have a.
Just saying.
Where my Nat Turner hatchet?
I have a real ignorant white question. That used to be the feature I used to do regularly on the show. So this is a throwback to that. Wow. I'll just say it. Do you think black people feel the emotion, feel hurt, or do they mainly feel fear and anger?
That's it.
Can I answer that question?
Well, no, let me tell you where I'm going, and then I want to hear from you. Because in my
you
book,
asked me, not the white man.
Okay, in my book, Get Out of Your Own Way, one of the chapters was there's people that have a core of hate, a core of hurt, and a core of health. Core of health is kind of rare. The problem with people who have core of hate is it just escalates, so people avoid them. You project, he has a core of hate. Whereas people with a core of hurt, you may not feel sorry for them, but you're not threatened by them. And one of the ways you can tell who you're dealing with is when you bump into someone with a core of hate looks at you like, hey, watch it. Whereas, people who with a core of hurt, it's they're overly neurotic. Oh, I'm sorry if I got in your way. And people with a core of health will just say, hey, excuse me. But the idea is, and I'll just finish this, what if the black community were to say to the white community, our level of hurt and pain matches our level of anger and fear, but we don't show it to you because we don't trust you to care enough about it. And you're only looking for our anger anyway, and so we're trying to hold that back, but you wouldn't, to show our hurt to you would require a level of trust that you have not earned, and so we keep it to ourselves. But to just paint us as angry and nothing else, you are so wrong.
You settle down, Jeff.
I love you so much.
And then you respond.
I love you so much.
Okay, now, accept what? Go on.
I love you so much. But that's all we've been doing is showing you. You know how much, every time I see somebody on Facebook with another see there whitey. Now, if he'd have been black,
Wait. Translate see there.
Here's see there. Here's see there whitey. When you see a brother get 35 years for crack, and you see a white boy get 5 years for powder. And see there. That's what we're trying to show. We keep trying to show you what is happening now, what Ferguson is showing you, what the crack baby's baby is showing you, is that we tired. We're not going to show you shit no more. And your reaching us has become unimportant. It is unimportant. Which is why I say about the language. I don't give a fuck how white people see me, because generally when I walk in a room, I'm smarter than most of the white people I'm around. Get them on a chessboard.
But if I see you as angry, it justifies the shitty way I treat you. And if I see you as afraid, I don't care.
And again, I don't give a fuck about none of that, because this ass whooping is the same.
Oh,
this is great. How you see me. I don't give a fuck how you see me.
Okay, listen. Hey,
Veronica wants in.
Hold on, goddammit.
I told you it was ignorant.
Hey, turn off everybody's mic. Just turn them. We got to take a quick break, and then we coming back, because I don't appreciate all this yelling and talking. We're going to stay intelligent. We're going to agree to disagree. Zoe Morning Show. We'll be back at 2.2.
Hey, I'm Dean Cain, and you are watching T Radio V. I'm watching it too. Right now. Seriously.
Hey, what's up? I am Scott.
And I am Ken. We are not the Chemical Brothers, but we are the Crystal Method. And you are watching T Radio V.
T Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
So how do we deal with stress? Prevention is better than cure, so we should take steps to avoid stress occurring. Keep in touch with your colleagues and be aware of potential individuals' stressors and your various teams' stressors. An early word with an individual can help a lot. Problems may or may not be work-related. Either way, they may affect performance at work, and appropriate support needs to be provided. Managers aren't expected to know everything, so you can always ask for guidance. Not knowing something but seeking advice is fine. Turning a blind eye isn't. So, as a manager, you may be thinking, where do I go next? Don't worry, the university can help. For really detailed guidance to support you in recognizing, preventing, and dealing with stress in both individuals and teams.
Let me give you a towel.
So, man, we were really digging down into this topic today. We're going deeper. Voice of Reason. So What Morning, T Radio V, Radio and TV. We gotta do this. Listen, the resilience of the black community isn't in question. But I think what is, in terms of coping, is the problem solving.
Yes.
Right? Veronica, we wanted to get your statement before, because you were trying to get it in when we was going to break. Speak on this real quick. Then we're going to Jeff Brown, then Kevin.
I want to speak to what Dr. G.
And then when the show is over, we're going to go to Tony Be Conscious. No, I'm just kidding.
In the context of Dr. G's model, blacks are hurt. White people have a core of hate. Because if you look at the evidence of the white man on this planet, he's perpetuated white aggression against black and brown people for centuries. For centuries. So that's his religion. That's his business. So I think, and I'm always grateful when there are white men that want to see it change on behalf of their race, and that but we have to get real clear that not only do white men benefit from white privilege and white aggression and all of the ill-gotten gains from traveling the earth and stealing everything from melanated cultures. That's what's been going on. And so we can cop to our hurt, but y'all got to cop to your hate.
Ooh.
That is fascinating and true.
Hold on.
Hold on real quick.
I got.
We have to cop to our hurt, but he has to cop to his hate.
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody just got smacked in the mouth with a salami sandwich. Oh, hey, go ahead, Kev. God damn. God damn.
Well, I definitely agree with
Show's
that
over.
as well. Body protector. So I definitely agree with that as well, but I think both people are hurt. I mean, going back through history, I mean, we have been here since the beginning. So anything that has been done, we have done it first. So they're hurt, we're hurt, everybody's hurt. I'm just tired of melanated people playing the victim, because that puts you in such a slave subservient state that you're always waiting for somebody to appease.
What?
But yes,
Let's keep the fight going. What do you got to say, Jeff?
Black people started slavery. I hope you know that.
We're not the ones.
So
we're the ones getting killed right now.
Listen. Black
what we
people
gonna do?
Look, black
Close
people
our eyes
started-
and say, "Oh, we're not being
That's-
victimized. We're not being victimized."
That's not
He's
what
not
I'm-
hitting me in the head
that's not what-
with a club right now.
No,
He
why
really
don't
ain't.
you
He ain't
pick
hit
up
me. He ain't hit me.
pick up a law book and
Okay,
learn
all
why
right.
they hitting you
All right.
in the first place.
All right.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
you think?
Wait,
so
wait.
you think if Mike Brown would have been a Moor and
it ain't got nothing to do with being a
and
Moor.
held up
Dude,
a law.
did I say anything about being a Moor? Did I say anything about?
All right, see, you get your mic cut when you don't listen. See your coping mechanism didn't work. Jeff Brown, please clean up where Tony B was going.
Blacks were the first to enslave whites. Not only is that true, but not unlike the interior accoutrements for the 1949 Buick Dynaflow, it has not a goddamn thing to do with what's going on right now. The fact that we enslaved
Wait a
them
minute.
first
Wait, let him finish.
yeah, if you notice when you was talking, I was quiet.
But I didn't finish my thought.
I was
You didn't
quiet.
finish your thought? Finish
Keep
your
going.
thought. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
Keep
Let
going.
me
I'm
know.
gonna answer
Let me
what you're
know.
saying right now.
Let me
Go
know.
ahead. I'm gonna answer what you're
Trying to
saying
cross
right
the
now.
street, cars keep coming.
Do your thing.
The fact that we enslaved them first is not on the minds of the men in Mississippi standing under black bodies hanging in trees like these motherfuckers just caught a big fish. I am sorry. When I don't know, and I don't care to know whether the concept of us enslaving them first, whether if I was to go, I'm almost done, whether if I was to go to a white supremacist function, would I find deep in the bowels some book that proves what you say, and that is why they do what they do?
No, I'm saying they do it because of an inherent fear of how history was. They don't not even understand that, dude, of why they have that fear of black people.
Okay, fine.
That
Hold
goes back-
on. Finish, Kev.
And so that's what that goes back. That's what the beating and the hatred and all of this not wanting black people to regain or to gain power, because they understand that when we had power, what we did with it. And so that's where you get all this hatred and the hurt and anguish from. But I'm not saying that learning the law has anything to do with being more or understanding the history. I'm saying that just to get your ass out of shit today,
let me do this. Hold on,
you need
hold
to
on.
learn.
Hey,
You need
all right,
to
check
understand
this.
what laws govern the.
All right, so check this out. Listen, we have to do our final thought coming. But let me just no. Hold tight.
I think the whole moral.
I said hold tight. You gonna keep talking? Hold tight. Just listen. Just listen. Just listen. The book is called Just Listen, Dr. Mark Goulston. Just listen. Doc Barnes said it. Racism is the product of a hurt little child. Right? I love that analogy. It's a hurt little child. Right? And I'm talking about today's version of it. It's a hurt little child. It's the child of who? It's the child of some parent that didn't raise his ass right. Motherfuckers don't want to think of it that way, right? If black people are the creator, and I believe we're the creator of all culture, all civilization on planet Earth. If we're the creator of civilization, then somebody must have modeled us. Right. Our style, our parenting style. But with that said, that still doesn't say what Jeff is saying is invalid. We're talking about today. So today, how do we undo it? Today, how do we, turn this whole situation back around to where two people can see mutual greatness and respect within each other? This is where humanity has to go. At some point, humanity has to get to a point where we got to say, shit, black people created us all. Black, more, whatever, created us all. We're all African from that perspective. And like a child is required to respect its parents, white people have to come back into the respect of black people at some point. Now, we got to take a quick break, and then we're coming back. Goodness. We are a society. today was a pretty powerful show. I fucking love bringing people from divergent walks of life with differing opinions together to expound on heavy topics. As is commonplace, I have to do the final thought. I used to tell my son this. There's a book called The Holographic Universe. Go get the book, Holographic Universe by Michael M. Talbot. And what he talked about in the holographic universe is that the brain operates like a hologram. You know what's so interesting about a hologram? The image in the hologram is non-local. You know what non-local means? It means it's all over the motherfucking film. So when you create a hologram of an apple, you could take the holographic film and cut that film into 1 billion pieces. Every little shard of that piece will contain the entire image of the apple. In other words, the image is non-local. It's not just located in the center. It's all over it. It's in every fiber. Now understand this, compartmentalization. You can't have a fucked up relationship with massa and have a good one with your woman. Any resentment and hurt that hasn't been dealt with is going to come home with you. You can't compartmentalize trauma. You can't pack it away somewhere and not expect it to seep in your life. We gotta fix this shit with Whitey. And you don't fix it by coping. See, coping is the bridge that gets you away from the immediate pain. But coping can also turn into a cell that can keep the pain locked in your vicinity. Pain has a purpose. It is to be resolved. It is to be understood. And once it's resolved and understood, it gives you a gift called evolution. But you can't evolve unless you embrace the pain. Embracing pain hurts. Holographic universe. I used to tell my son, you think your room can be fucked up, but your backpack can be organized? If I see your room is fucked up, I bet $200 right now your backpack fucked up. Give me your backpack. Backpack fucked up, disarray. It's toe up. I said, dude, being a better student starts with being neat in your room. If you got 37 cans of motherfucking Pringles under your bed open, I know you're not organized in the class. Holographic universe. Let's stick with the brain chemistry. Doc said it earlier. Veronica said it earlier. Dr. G said it earlier. Kev, everybody was speaking on this. Dude, the victimhood ritual creates neurosynaptic connections in the brain. They're pathways. The brain works like this. The more you think some shit, it's a groove in a record. It's just there. So if you're not using algebra and you were great at it, and you're just not using it, you tend to be a little rusty when you go back because those synaptic pathways haven't been used. The more you use them, the stronger they get. The more you blame, the stronger the blame train or mind frame is set within the brain. That makes, you understand what I'm saying? This is what's going on in the black community. It's his fault, it's his fault. I would love my woman more, right? If the white man didn't treat her better than me. Low key, I kind of I resent this motherfucker a little bit. Am I fucking? Am I look at what black people have done through pain and trauma. Coping has produced soul food, hip hop, R&B, jazz, blues. All this shit is born of pain. All of this is born out of coping. Can you imagine what a free black mind would look like? What the fuck could be created from that? Now, look at the free white mind. The free white mind is saying this: I'm on my fucking way to Mars. Right? The free white mind is, nigga, we going to Jupiter. There's some shit over there. We're going to terraform the universe. We're Earthlings now. But where we're going, we will be the aliens. That's where that's Gene Roddenberry, Star Trek. We out here colonizing other planets, niggas. Y'all motherfuckers can have this shit. It's your fault you left us. Do you see what I'm saying? The train of thought. We have to stop coping/moping. Now, to rebirth the seeds, I wrote a book called Hopeless, or I wrote a poem called Hopeless. And I was saying, you should hope less in the sense of, I hope something would change, right? To hope is a projection, right? I'm hoping this will happen. It's almost like a supplication, right? But that's creative. So you can use hope as a creative medium. When we start creating, and I'm saying creating from a space of fear, not I hope the white man will see this as valuable. I hope I will be acknowledged by him and what he defines as great. God damn. Look at all the dope shit we created through pain and trauma. I'm just praying that I can live long enough to see a moment where we create something out of freedom. We can't do it the way we've been doing it. Go to school, get a good education. You still can get your ass beat by the police who are fucking policing stereotypes. That's gonna happen. No. We have to be rebels. We have to rebel against all that was considered normal and good for you. You have to be brave enough to say, I can die for my narrative that I'm gonna write right now for me.
In that same holographic universe, there are studies that have been done where they had damaged strawberries. So the strawberries were mottled and had fungus and cuts and things like that on them. And they took a hologram of a perfect strawberry and they held it on that strawberry, the living strawberry, and it began to change and heal and conform to a perfect strawberry.
Wow. Whatever the thinker thinks, the prover will prove.
That's what you're showing to others. That's what you're giving out. That's what you're giving to yourself. That's the kind of when you can create beyond. You don't have to stay in what the status quo is. You can literally create beyond.
You don't. That's what the show is about. I'm saying, fuck normal. You know, people won't read my book because they think it'll break them up with their woman.
What?
It's a philosophical book. It's a psychological book. Stop thinking in the box. Get out of it.
You might introduce them to their real self.
I might make it might make your relationship better.
You know, if they think that, they've already broken up with them. They just haven't ended it.
Woo! Okay, really quickly, Doc Barham, where can they find you, bro?
If someone's interested in getting in touch with me, they can send me an email. Keep it real. That's really simple. Just docbarham@gmail.com. I'm happy to talk to people if they're interested in doing some coaching or would like to do more. It's DOCBARHAM at gmail.com.
And I know this guy comes across as unassuming, but when I tell you this is a sumo wrestler, Mike Tyson, world famous transformational coach, don't fuck with him with no bullshit. You know if the new Now Laters got pineapple. A real serious people get at Doc Barham, for real. Kevin.
You can get at me at the YouTube channel Real Nagas, REELNAGAS, and that's the video classroom. Also, I want any lawyers or paralegals or anybody out there who understands the court system, please get at me on that channel. I wanted to talk to you, and also go get that booty boxing home system. That's at udemy.com, udemy.com/booty boxing, promo code ZoWhatShow.
There we go.
Yeah, check out Doc Barham because he's coached me. He's the best transformational coach I've met, and Zoe and I coach each other. But just check him out.
Doc is incredible.
As for me, Business Rockstars tomorrow, Tuesday, 10:15 to 4 to 10:45 a.m. Business Rockstars. I'll be on there live. Tune in.
Great stuff, Jeff.
Stop buying cars and rims. Buy books and guns.
Wow. Tony B.
Conscious Enterprises, Conscious Ent. Yo, I'm doing wholesale right now, trying to get my stuff in as many stores across the country as possible. Bookstores everywhere, distribution. Hit me up. Let's
Great
do this.
stuff. Listen, I'm always encouraging people to go to Amazon and purchase the Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. It is a breakup and makeup book. It is a workbook. After every chapter, there's 12 chapters. There are exercises in the book, right? This is not just, if you're in a good relationship, it'll make it better. I promise you. It's a good book. Or if you want a physical copy, you gotta go to IamZoeWilliams.com. Pre-order your copy right now, and I will definitely, not pre-order, just order it, and I will package it and send it out. I'm going to the post office tomorrow. So anybody that orders today, their package will be sent out tomorrow. Get at me, Zoe Williams, Voice of Reason. Oh, by the way, the Voice of Reason will be there tonight. Tonight, 5 to 7 p.m. Dash Radio. I'll holla at y'all. Great show. See you next week. Deuces.
Cause I love how we bring out the passion when we start from your forehead, cause every part deserve a kiss. Give it to you good until your body go through turbulence. Took a few losses to gain, but we was learning in. Now we on the same team balling, cause we done earned our wins, for real. Your place in my heart remain permanent. Forget about the haters in the hell that they burning in. His and hers, 6'4" Chevys, what we turning in. John life the way we live, they know who turn it is. Had to cleanse my spirit for sight to clear up.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio and TV.